Rodgers, beyond displaying the bust of Nick Cage in that media availability, had some concerns about the younger receivers not catching the ball, which really is the main job of being a pass receiver. You're not a pass dropper. Anyway, the young receivers met with Rodgers after the criticism. They met with all three quarterbacks and members of the coaching staff. Rodgers didn't call the meeting, but he spoke extensively during it. Rodgers said the Packers receivers have got to be way more consistent. And I prefer that's, and maybe Rodgers has learned you got to be a squeaky wheel sometimes. And maybe he's learned that if I try to work this through the internal channels and try to maybe get a meeting and, we got too much going on. We got too much going on. Look at the list of things we got to do today. We can't have time for that. And then he says it publicly, and then all of a sudden there's time to have a meeting with the young receivers and impress upon them the importance of doing what they have to do. So I think he's been there long enough to know what it takes to get things done. And I think he had a feeling that if he said something publicly, it would work. And, Chris, it sounds like it got the attention of the people it needed to get the attention of.
Right. That's where I disagreed with people like, he's throwing them under the bus. He wasn't throwing anybody under the bus. He was speaking factual. That is one where I don't mind what he did there at all. The writing's on the wall. Yeah, they're young guys. They're inexperienced. They have a team that's Super Bowl-ish, and that is the biggest question mark of all. And what puts more pressure on it or makes it real than him standing in front of the camera and, it's not passive-aggressive. It's just straight-up aggressive. Like, it's, hey, we got to get better. We got to get on the same page. Guys got to catch the ball. Guys got to run the routes the right way. And, he addresses the situation head on. And then obviously not afraid to, look at those guys in the eyes in the locker room and have conversations with them. I think this is, again, I don't look at this as like a bad thing. I look at it as like what a leader has to do sometimes. Sometimes you hear coaches talk about position groups or things that got to be better. Aaron Rodgers has earned the right to do that. He has, and I have no issue with that. I think it was probably a necessity. He got to a point, I think, where he probably thought it was a necessity. Like, whoa, it's been too many days now. I'm gonna put something on this here a little bit, put a little more pressure on these guys, get them to realize that, you think you're working hard. That's something I learned in my career too. We had this offensive line coach, Bill Muir, and damn, I thought I was working hard. And I'd go during stretch and stuff, and he'd come at me, you got to do more. And I'd be like, I would want to look at him and be like, hey, F you. I don't know. I'm doing a lot here. But I knew what he meant. The level of expectation, really good football team, all of that, it's got to be more. And I think these guys come from college and they're like, hey, I'm working hard and I'm going to, practice and we're working hard. But what Rodgers is saying is, no, like Devontae Adams was here. I wish he was here because he would show you what working hard is. It's all day. It's every day. It's obsession. And I think he's trying to get that group to that point.
And again, my general preference is that these things aren't taken public, but if you want to get your message across, this is just part of existence in the Green Bay Packer organization. Remember 3 years ago what he had to do with the whole Audible thing? He engineered a way for it to become a thing in order to get what he wanted to get, which he knew he wasn't going to get if he just worked the normal channels. Sometimes you need to have a little bit of a dust-up in order to get things accomplished because you get so caught up in everything else you're doing as a coaching staff, as a front office staff, the players are focused on certain things that other things can get lost in the shuffle unless somebody sounds the alarm. And that's his way of breaking glass in event of emergency. You say something publicly and then it happens.
Yeah.
And here's more proof. Here's more proof that it worked. Matt LaFleur, head coach of the team, talking about what Rodgers had to say and the young receivers who need to respond accordingly.
Where's your confidence level in the young receivers right now? Because Aaron's didn't seem to go that high yesterday.
Well, I think it's more some of the silly mistakes that we need to get cleaned up, and just like something as simple as checking with the official before the snap to make sure that we are eligible. But yeah, I think there's going to be growing pains, particularly with younger players. And the thing is, and I appreciate this about Aaron, it's just the urgency to get some of this stuff corrected. I mean, you can't make the same mistake twice. Not in this league. We don't have time for it. And that's just enough time to get you beat. So certainly he's the ultimate competitor. And, you know, I think it's good for these guys to feel that, because we got to make sure that they continue to show progress each and every day. And, you know, it'll be a good opportunity today to see how these young guys respond.
They picked up Travis Fulgham on waivers yesterday from the Denver Broncos,
right.
a guy who flashed for a little bit in Philadelphia a few years back. What's your overall confidence level right now with this group of receivers, knowing that they open in Minnesota in 24 days?
It's low. I mean, it's very low. That's why I think, you know, there's the urgency there. I mean, again, what are we writing home about? Sammy Watkins? I mean, okay, that ship sailed and gone. He's okay. Randall Cobb? Whoa, holy crap. Whoa, I'm shaking in my boots if I'm a defensive coordinator. You know, Alan Lazard, good player, no doubt, but not the kind of guy that's going to change a defensive game plan. And then a bunch of young rookies that, don't know their ass from their elbow at this point still. So that's why he's trying to, light a fire here. And again, to me, their most talented receivers are the two guys at the bottom, Watson and Dubs or Daubs. I always mess his names up. They're the two most talented guys. So I think that just says it all. And hey, I always compare or try to show people, hey, the great generals of quarterbacking in our lifetime, Peyton Manning, right? You think Peyton Manning would settle for some of this crap? Hey, you messed up again. Just get him out. Get him out. Get his ass out of here. All right? Tom Brady, you think he's going to deal with that? Listen, we heard this in 2019, right? Brady, the receivers couldn't play because they felt like Brady didn't like them. And it was, I don't know if Brady ever really addressed it or called it out in the media or did that. He just kind of had an attitude like, you guys got to be better. And remember, we heard about young receivers who were basically shaking in their boots because they felt like they could never please him that way. All right, so, again, this is not easy. People like to pile on Aaron Rodgers a little too much sometimes, and I just don't agree with it. And then, you bring it back to what you said. There's no owners there. That's a big thing, right? They can never get the big free agent. Odell Beckham Jr. All these players have wanted to go play with Aaron Rodgers, but they never have salary cap room. They don't have an owner that can make that big move or decision to say, do this. So Aaron Rodgers is put in this position more than the regular big-time franchise quarterback, as we were kind of discussing yesterday. That's where I'll defend him. I know he's not perfect, and he's been a pain in the ass every now and then. But, damn, it's a little different up there in Green Bay compared to some of the other top organizations that quarterbacks and the top quarterbacks in history have been involved in.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.